This is Maxink Radio, radio for the people. How you doing, everybody? Happy Free For All Friday to y'all. I am DJ Zed, your humble host, a double shot of the mighty Kiss, Creatures of the Nights, Crazy, Crazy Nights. We had some Tough in there off their actually brand new album. Tough just released a new album. They remixed some of their old stuff. They added some new songs. So it's a really good album. Taiketo off their classic album, the song Forever Young. Some Crew, Motley Crue and Kiss are actually going to be out doing a really cool tour. We played some All in the Name of, some Firehouse, Shake and Tumble. We had a little bit of harder stuff. Some Accept with Teutonic Terror, some Metallica, The God That Failed, some Priest with Hell Patrol. Wow, what an awesome show so far. I do want to give one last shout out also to Mitch Stewart from the band Circle to Circle. His father, they're going to be taking him off life support tomorrow. It is a really, really sad tragedy. He's a great guy, a bass player, keyboardist, songwriter for Circle to Circle. He also has worked with The Element. He dropped an album with Rafa out of Brazil from The Element, and just a lot of cool things. And so any support anybody can kind of help out Mitch would be absolutely wonderful. Coming up, I also want to read something for you boys and girls about a really cool thing we're doing here at Maxink Radio. We are also here. I had an awesome chat with Criss Sexx from the band Nympho. Him and I, we've been talking for a long time on Facebook and just become good friends. He's a hell of a guy. He has a lot of passion for the music and everything else. The album Alone in the Dark drops worldwide today through Music by Mail. The band is all the way out from over there in Rio de Janeiro. They're just a great rock band. A lot of reminiscence of the 80s and kind of the sleaze, but yet they have kind of a new feel and kind of a new groove in a time where so many bands like on your FM radio are, talking about such horrible things and downer music and just everything else. It's nice to have a bright band that's more upbeat and the songs are real and the singer can sing and it's not all the screamo, not all the emo and not all the other stuff. They're just a really great band. The drums, the guitars, the bass, the singing, all of it comes through very, very well. I'm going to be, I've recorded an interview with Criss. I'm going to be playing that. We'll be working it in and out of the songs, so it'll work really well. We're going to be playing the album in its entirety, all 11 of the songs off the album, and then the bonus to the acoustical version. I lost it here. The acoustical version of Dreams Are Not Enough. We'll be playing all 12 songs, so it's really, really great. I say let's get this locked and loaded. Nympho, Alone in the Dark. Also remember, you'll be able to download this album off all the normal places, your iTunes, your eMusic, you can get it from Amazon and all that. The album, the actual physical copy will be able to be get from the band, and like I said, Music by Mail will be distributing that also. So there's some great places, but this is the first place you'll be able to hear it first here on Maxink Radio, radio for the people. I am DJ Zed, so without further ado, Criss Sexx and Company's band Nympho, Alone in the Dark, radio for the people. This is Maxink Radio, radio for the people. I am DJ Zed. Hanging out with me today is Criss Sexx from the amazing band Nympho. Criss, thank you very much for joining me this evening. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. I hope everybody else who's listening to it is doing great as well. And it's a pleasure to be on the show, and I really appreciate, the chance and the opportunity of being right here and having the music out shown to the people.
That is awesome. For those that are unfamiliar with the band Nympho, where are you guys from? What country, what area do you guys come from?
Well, we started back in 2006, and we're from Rio, Brazil. And since then, we've been working non-stop, and we have an album out, which is called VIP, which we call Very Innocent People, which was released in 2009. And it's available in America, and it's available on Amazon and sites like that. And, we've had some lineup changes and stuff, and we dealt with a lot of things in the last year and a half. And then right now we have a new album coming out, which is called Alone in the Dark, which I have been promoting, non-stop on Facebook, on YouTube, and everywhere you can think of. And I just hope that good things come to the band right now because it was really hard work, and I'm really proud of this one.
Let's get this out of the way right now. If people want to contact Nympho, as far as what sites are you on, how can people get a hold of you? Are you're on Facebook, all this, how can people get in touch with the band Nympho?
Well, I'm on Facebook on a daily basis. To be honest, I've been promoting that, since February, I think, and I just have to be online like on an everyday basis. And anyone who is, anyone who wants to contact me, just send me a message. We have our own Facebook page, which is called Nympho Rocks, and contact can be made through YouTube or, Reverb Nation. We have lots of sites out there on the net, and it's not difficult to, to find us, to find me. I mean, I'm the responsible guy for the band, and anything like as information and interview requests and, like booking gigs, just contact me, and I'm always available. I'm always returning messages, and that's it. I think this is the way it's got to be. Let people know about the music, and I'm just grateful to everyone who's been supporting the band, and I hope it continues when the album is finally out.
Oh, most definitely. The music is amazing. Okay, the new album that is dropping June 15th. Tell me about the album. Is it a concept album, or what went into the songs? Just explain to me all about the album.
All right. So to be honest, since day one, recording Alone in the Dark, the album was like a real nightmare. We had all kind of trouble one can think of, like with being robbed by the studio guy. I had known this guy for like 15 years. We did the first album with him, and but by that time we had a different guitar player, and then we recorded the whole album, let's say in 3 months, and then when the new guitar player in the band was about to record his parts, the tension was so big that, we just burned bridges with the studio guy, and, some weeks later, the guitar player left, and we were just unable to finish the recordings. We didn't have a lead guitar player. And then we found Eric, who was like a godsend to us, and, we finally did that. We just finished the album in a different studio, and I'm really proud of the album. It's not a concept album. When I wrote the song Alone in the Dark, I knew exactly what it would be like. By the moment I had the track written, I knew it was going to be the title track for the new album, and I knew everything. I knew how the album cover would look like, and I knew the image direction would be like.
Well, tell me about the band. You said you've had a lot of lineup changes and stuff like this. As far as today, the band, tell me who, like your guitar player, your bass player, your drummer, and these people. Tell me a little bit about each of them.
All right. So the drummer, who is called Pablo Pinheiro, and I have been together since day number one, and even though sometimes we have really different opinions, we're like brothers. I love the guy, and I'm sure the guy loves me too. We have this good relationship going, and then Olavo Barroka, who is the bass player in the band. I usually say that he's the balance in the band. I can say that I'm the business guy in the band. I do everything. I do the promoting. I do the booking thing. And whenever I freak out, I need Olavo, to bring the balance back to the band. It's just incredible. And the band wouldn't be where it is right now if it was not for him. And about the lineup changes, like our first guitar player quit the band, after some internal, musical and personal differences, but we're still friends, we still talk, and we had this guy replacing him who was like an amazing guitar player. He was like he was a musician. He was not like the rest of us. I usually say that it was like a poison with Rich Kotzen situation. Like the guy was too good to be playing with us, but it really pushed us harder in terms of being a better band, like being better musicians. But once the tensions during the making of the album, the recording process, and everything, like the guy just quit, like he couldn't take the tension, he couldn't take the pressure, and he quit, and so there we were, like back to zero, and we had to find this new guitar player, and quickly, because we had the whole album recorded, but the lead guitar parts. And it was quite frustrating at the time. And then Olavo remembered about Eric. I think they had like some kind of band together in the past, and they used to be very close friends back then. And he told me he would contact the guy, and he said, "Hey Chris, you're gonna love this guy. He plays really, really well, and he's like a calm guy. He's a guitar player without an ego," and that was like the magic word. I didn't want a guitar player with an ego.
Any songs like that are your favorite songs that really kind of come through, that are more kind of closer to the heart to you, and why is that on this album?
All right, so we've got 12 songs on the album, actually 11, but we have this acoustic version for the ballad, Dreams Are Not Enough, which is one of my favorite tracks on it. It's for sure one of my finest compositions, and it's a very personal track to me. It's about this relationship I had going for like 6 years, and I could see it was not working, but I was insisting. And I remember during one of the arguments between me and this girl, and I told her that dreams are not enough, and but if you're not there for the taking, and that line stuck to my mind, and I said, like, hey, I have to use that, sometime. The line's really good, and that's what I did. Like, I wrote the ballad on the album, after this line, which I thought was good. Like, it sounded good and real, and it's basically a true story, And there are some other tracks like Rock Me Hard, which is my favorite song on the record, which I believe to be the most powerful song we have on it, the definite Nympho track. And we're shooting a video for this one in the next couple of months or so, and you're gonna soon, watch the video on YouTube or, whatever. I can promote the video and the band. Like, it's just amazing. These two songs really stand out. I really like Alone in the Dark too, and I like the AOR tracks, which I call like the Bon Jovi tracks, the Nympho Bon Jovi tracks. Don't Walk in Love, and of course I'll Come Running, and I like the whole record. And some of the tracks like Treat Me Like an Animal and Sexual Something takes us back to the first album. It's like sleazy rock, like glam rock, like very much in the vein of Kiss and Faster Pussycat, and Tough. And like I try to experiment a little bit more on this album. I didn't want to repeat myself all the time as I did on the first record, and that's why we have this new element.
We've talked a lot about Nympho now. Let's talk a little bit about you. When did you decide that you wanted to be a musician?
Well, it all started in 1983. I was 6 or 7 years old back then, and Kiss played their first gig ever in Brazil, Rio, and actually they did a tour here. And when I saw that on TV, like I was just blown away. I just saw Paul Stanley and said, hey, that's what I want. That's exactly what I want to be when I grow up. And of course, nobody took me seriously like my parents and my teachers. And there were these school things, and where the teacher would ask, what do you want to be? What do you want to be when you grow up? And people would go like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer. And then I would say, I want to be Paul Stanley,
That's
and
awesome.
nobody really got that, and my parents always told me that it was some kind of phases that would be over, but it's not over. It's been like 30 years now. I'm 35 right now, and still going strong, and I hope I can still continue like writing and performing, and like with Nympho or solo or whatever. Like I just want to keep on writing music and performing. I think this is what I do best.
Play guitar, you write songs. How did you decide that singing was going to be your path, and when did you know that you would be good enough to be able to do this? Because singers, especially this day and age, singers are really hard to come by, and they're becoming a dying breed because everything's coming more, screaming and just stuff like this. And you are a vocalist. How did you get to that point where you knew that's what you wanted to be?
Well, thank you. Well, actually, I started singing because there was nobody to sing it. Like when I was forming like my very first bands, I started as a bass player. Because my dream was like to become like the new Paul Stanley or the new Criss Sexx. By this time, I was really addicted to Molly Crew, and like Criss Sexx has always been like a major influence to me, like not the drug thing, but everything that this guy ever did, like I considered right. And I just wanted to be a copy of Criss Sexx, the Brazilian copy of Criss Sexx. That's why my artist name is Criss Sexx,
Yeah.
like Six and Sex, like and then we had this band, and I was playing the bass, and we were auditioning for singers, and each and every one was like worse than the previous one. And I came to the conclusion that if I wouldn't get a good singer, I could do it myself, and that's what happened. That's when I started singing, and later on I gave up playing the bass, and I just learned some chords on guitar, and I've never had guitar lessons. Everything about my writing is really about feeling. I've never had any kind of music lessons, and
And the album, you said, comes out June 15th. Are you guys planning on touring around like your local area there?
Sure. Right now we are rehearsing the new material and a couple of songs of the first record and some covers, because here in Brazil, if you don't play covers, you just can't play a gig, like playing only originals. Unfortunately, I don't know how it works in America, but here it's like this. And we are rehearsing right now, and I've already got like like 5 or 6 new songs written for what's to become like a third Nympho record. And yeah, we are planning to tour around here, Brazil, and as I said, maybe America and Europe. I'll be in Europe in London in October, and I'll try to get some unplugged things like POC shows or anything like that when the time's right. But I have to wait until the album is out.
Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure, and I would love to hear in a couple months or so, bring you back again, and we'll just sit and BS some more. You're a pleasure to talk to. It's really cool. I'm a musician myself. It's really cool to just sit and talk with other musicians and get their feelings on things and anything else. And it's been a blast. Is there any last final words you'd like to tell the listeners? Maybe spin out one more time how they can contact you and reach you and all that good stuff.
Okay, so first, I would like to thank you for having Nympho on the show, and having me on the show to talk about the band and the new album. And of course, I would like to thank the band, for all the effort that they had recording the album, and I would like to thank the guys from Music by Mail for believing in us. I would like to thank you, and of course all the people who have been supporting us for the last 4 or 5 months, and all the people who are giving us a like on our Facebook page. And that's it. I want to thank everybody, and I just hope you guys buy the record, and enjoy it, of course.
This is Max Inc. Radio for the people. How you doing, everybody? This is Free For All Friday. That was the world premiere of the album Alone in the Dark by the band Nympho. Great band, great interview. Thank you so very much, Criss, for taking the time out to just hang out with me, talk. I would love to bring you back for a follow-up interview here in a couple months or so, and we'll chat some more about the album, the band, how things are going, all that other good stuff. If you liked what you heard, you can pick up the album Music by Mail. Check it out. It'll also be on all the normal download sites, your iTunes, your eMusic. It'll be on Amazon. It'll be all over. The CDs will be there. You'll be also, if you want to contact the band Nympho Rocks on Facebook, they'll have some actual hard copy album, the CDs and stuff. They'll be selling stuff like this. Make sure also to support the up-and-coming bands, the indie bands, the everything else, because these are the bands of the future. The big bands of today were the up-and-coming bands of yesterday. They were the indie bands of yesterday and everything else. So definitely get out there, help support, and everything else. Okay, going on next, I've got some requests to get kicked out. I've got a double shot of Monster Magnet coming up for our very own Phoenix. What's going on, girlie? Thanks for hanging out. I've got from Bunny. What's going on, Bunny? She want to hear some My Chemical Romance. Get some other things. I'm going to be running a little bit over today, but also don't forget, I'm going to be qualifying somebody else for that Jane's Addiction giveaway here very, very, very soon. This is Max Inc. Radio for the people, Free for All Friday. Crank it up.